Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online Series 1 VGC ladder in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and provide live commentary as I go. In this video, I'm going to be trying out a really interesting Trick Room oriented team that has a lot of fun Pokemon, including a Toxic Orb, Normal Tera, Facade, Flareon. The team also uses Life Orb Azumarill as well as Throat Spray Arboliva as the primary sweepers. It has Gothitelle plus Gallade as the main Trick Room users, and has a Tinkaton for fake out support as well. And so I saw the team, and first of all, I mean, just Flareon, like I haven't seen it or used it at all in this format, and so I definitely wanted to give it a shot, and I think it plays a little bit differently from a lot of the teams that I've featured so far, and it's just super fun as well. As always, I'll do a quick breakdown of the team, but if you want to just skip to the battles, check out the timestamps down in the description below, and thank you so much as always for watching. If you enjoyed, really mean a lot if you consider leaving a like on the video or subscribing, really helps me out a ton, but thanks as always for joining, and let's get started. First of all, a huge thank you to VGC for building and sharing this team with me. It is just so fun and features so many unique Pokemon and sets, and I knew I had to feature it as soon as I was sent it. So rental and paste are down in the description below. And question of the day, inspired by us using Flareon, I want to know how you would buff an evolution if you had the chance to. One thing that I want to quickly say is that I got my butt kicked when I first tried out this team. I think I probably lost like 5 or 6 games in a row, and my rating went from like the 2000s like 10,000-ish or so. And so it can be really hard to pick up brand new teams, especially if they don't play in a specific style that you might be used to. But I think that's the beauty of Pokemon, right? Like you can learn so much by trying out different teams and different styles as well. And yeah, I think that there's nothing wrong with losing if you're able to learn from your mistakes. And for me, was really learning about how to position like the main sweepers on this team, as well as trying to get relatively safe Trick Room setups. So just wanted to preface with that because I don't think it was very easy for me to learn or pick up how to utilize it. But I feel like once I got the hang of things, it made a lot more sense. So just wanted to start with that. So Flareon's the first Pokemon I wanted to talk about, and this thing is just an absolute monster. First of all, base 130 attack means it actually has one of the higher base attacks in the game, and combine it with normal Tera, and this thing does so much damage with normal Facade. It is absolutely nuts when you have Toxic Orb and Guts, and the beautiful thing about it is that you don't always have to Tera to get value out of Facade, right? Even just regular Facade still does pretty good damage. You've got Facade, Quick Attack, Flare Blitz, and Protect. Flare Blitz obviously being your main means of offense outside of Facade, and Quick Attack really just for some priority, and this is just min speed to operate under Trick Room. So there are 2 other kind of main sweepers next to the Flareon on this team. The first one is this Life Orb Azumarill. And so I think when people see Azumarill, they generally expect it to be something like Assault Vest, for example, or Belly Drum. But Life Orb plus huge power, plus like just Liquidation and Play Rough does so much damage. And we currently are playing a metagame where there are a lot of Pokemon weak to Azumarill. You think about things like Hydreigon, Garchomp, for example. And so Azumarill has good coverage into a lot of good Pokemon, and it potentially can just threaten them with a one-hit knockout as well. And so, yeah, I think like when people see this, they're like, oh, you're not going to do that much damage. And then they just kind of get slapped and get a one-hit knockout, right? Or get one shot by Azumarill. Also really valuable into things like Annihilate, for example. Arboliva is the third sweeper on this team, and this is a Throat Spray variant. Now, Arboliva, of course, has a really solid base special attack. You also have, unique ability in Seed Sower, and so Arboliva, like we featured a bunch of different sets already at this point on the channel, and I think there's so many different ways that you can utilize it. But I like this; it's just really meant to deal as much damage as possible. Often with this team, you're aiming to just set up Trick Room and really sweep with these 3 Pokemon as quickly as possible. And Arboliva with this set is really, really good for it, right? And so you've got good coverage and same type attack bonus between Energy Ball and Hyper Voice, and Earth Power gives you good coverage into certain Pokemon like fire types or steel types that otherwise might give you some trouble. So that's it for kind of like the offensive core with the team. To round out things, you've got a classic Gothitelle here. This is Dark Tera. In my opinion, this is just one of the best Trick Room setters in the game right now because it has a lot of utility, and also with the Dark Tera, it's kind of hard to cover for it being both Ghost and Dark on turn 1, and covering for both options is tough. Dark is important for a couple reasons. First of all, it gives you resistances to things that otherwise hit Gothitelle for super effective, like opposing Ghost attacks or opposing Dark type attacks, for example. But importantly, it also gives you immunity to Prankster Taunt coming from something like Murkrow, and so that's really valuable. Gallade's the other Trick Room user on this team, and it also can use Imprison to stop opposing Trick Room if you're going up against like really slow Trick Room teams, which I think is pretty interesting. Sharpness is just a pretty sweet ability like Gallade now gets, and it increases the damage output of Sacred Sword pretty substantially. You have Ghost Terror on this Gallade mainly to bypass, normal type moves, and so it helps against like Fake Out, as well as actually Population Bomb from Mousehold. Mousehold can be pretty annoying actually for this team to go up against. If you just Terra, Ghost, and Sacred Sword, that's kind of a nice answer into something that otherwise expects to sweep the team. Tinkaton is the final Pokemon. This is a general utility set with Fake Out and Assault Vest. The main thing to note is that you've got Faint here as well as Flying Tera. Now with this team, like, you know, obviously it's like a Trick Room oriented team, but Gallade and Tinkaton are actually fairly speedy. So I've had games where like Tinkaton outspeeds opposing Golden Goes, which can be interesting outside of Trick Room. So just keep that speed dynamic in mind. I've also had games where I set up Trick Room, but then Tinkaton ends up being slower than my opponent, which ends up being a problem. Flying Tera is mainly here to give you the immunity into ground type attacks, which otherwise can be kind of annoying since there is no like immunity to ground with this team. And so that can be kind of nice. And it's just a fairly nice defensive spread with a little bit of attack investment as well. Faint, by the way, on this is really solid, I think, because it's able to just obviously go and get rid of protects, and it combos really nicely with things like Azumarill, Flareon, Arboliva, where you set up Trick Room, maybe the Trick Room user goes down and you can just feint and snipes like each individual slot one by one. So there are a lot of different ways to play with this team. The original team creator recommended a couple of leads like Gallade plus Tinkaton, so you have Fake Out plus Trick Room, Flareon plus Gothitelle, so you can just protect into Trick Room immediately, and then Flareon applies a lot of offensive pressure the next turn. Gothitelle plus Azumarill, kind of similar concept. Azumarill applies offensive pressure, Gothitelle traps things in. Gallade plus Flareon, similar concept, applies pressure. Gallade, you know, then just get angle to set up Trick Room. In my experience, I actually ended up going more with like Tinkaton plus Gothitelle and Tinkaton plus Gallade, really to try to pressure with Trick Room immediately and then get the Trick Room sweepers in, because with Fake Out pressure, I feel like have a better chance of getting up Trick Room. So those are just a couple of combinations that you can go with if you're trying out the team. But let's talk a little bit about the weaknesses now. For the weaknesses, there are a couple things that I'll call out. First of all, this team, I would say, does rely on getting up Trick Room most of the time. So if you can deny Trick Room, that's pretty important. And there are a couple ways you can obviously do that. The first one is, for example, running Imprison plus Trick Room as a combination. You can also look for things that can just pressure Gallade and Gothitelle for knockouts. So for example, like I think Ghost type Pokemon in particular have been pretty tough for me to go up against because first of all, Tinkaton can't go Fake Out into them, and then Ghost damage is also just super effective into both. Now you have answers against them. Gallade has Focus Sash and the Gothitelle has the Dark Tera, so it's not like they just definitively beat you, but I've struggled against combinations like that, right? And you can't always guarantee Trick Room with this team. I think Psychic Terrain has also been a problem. Psychic Terrain, actually, I ran into a Serena team, which also gave me some issues. Like, the Serena was able to basically completely wall me and cause some problems immediately. And so, yeah, like, I wasn't able to click Fake Out, and then a lot of damage just came out immediately. And so if you can deny the Trick Room, I think, outright, it can cause some pretty major problems. And I think also, like, Flareon, for example, is nice, but it takes a lot of recoil from Flare Blitz, and then the toxic damage also can add up. And I've had games where like I set up Trick Room, and then there was one game where like a Sucker Punch from Scarlet just did like 70% to me, right? So like priority moves I can chip away at Flareon and deal massive amounts of damage so that it can't get more than like 1 or 2 big attacks off, can make it a little bit trickier here. Azumarill is walled by a couple of Pokemon, especially because it's only using like Water and Fairy, for example. It does have the Grass Tera, which, you know, allows for some defensive capabilities, but yeah. I think like Flareon, Azumarill, and Arboliva are all really strong, so it's mainly about like preventing them from maximizing their damage output while Trick Room is up. And for example, if with this team you go Tinkaton, Gothitelle, Tinkaton, Gallade, you don't actually have that much damage output because your main damage dealers are in the back. So for example, one of the weaknesses of this team is like Trick Room getting stalled out, and then you can just cleanly outspeed and KO Flareon, Azumarill, and Arboliva. So like it is, you know, not that easy to deny Trick Room against this team. So sometimes you might just have to accept, okay, it's going to go up, and I'm going to have to try to figure out clever ways in just like preventing them from getting their sweepers in immediately, whether that means like not intentionally not knocking out certain Pokemon to waste a turn of Trick Room, or covering for switch out options to get them if they do switch into one of the sweepers. But yeah, like I mentioned, the things I struggled against especially were like faster Fake Out in general, just opposing Fake Out users, and then things I can just like easily KO Gallade and Gothitelle immediately, as well as my opponent stalling out Trick Room effectively. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for the breakdown. Let's get into the battles. Okay, Mousehold, Arcanine, Annihilate, Meowscarada, Goldengo, and Murkrow. So if I want to set up Trick Room, my best bet is I think like I'm worried about Goldengo plus Annihilate bleed. Double Ghost is really bad to face against here. Yeah, if they go with that, I really actually don't have too much counterplay, which is not good. Because what I want to go with is just Tinkaton plus Gothitelle, Fake Out into Trick Room. And in the back, Flareon plus Azumarill. Azumarill is incredible offensively here. Got super effective attacks into most of my opponent's team. Like, they have 3 Fairy weaks. Arcanine's weak to water as well. But yeah, I think like when using a team like this, it can be a little bit scary because there's a fair amount of things that can prevent you from safely setting up Trick Room. Now, the thing is, even if they go with double Ghost, what I can do is just Tera the Gothitelle on turn 1 into Dark, right? To resist some of the attacks. But like if they go with Annihilate plus the Golden Go, they can simply just click Make It Rain plus Rage Fist into Gothitelle. And I really don't have too much counterplay to that. So that's one thing I'm worried about here. And Gallade with Focus Sash doesn't really solve the issue either. So, like I mentioned in the weaknesses section when I covered the team, things that you have to be careful about. Ghost-type Pokemon, faster fake-out users, Pokemon like Indeedee that can set up Psychic Terrain. Basically any way to deny fake-out from really being effective at the start of the battle. Let's see. Murkrow Golden Goal. I'll take that. I will take that. So Murkrow's trapped in already, which is cool. I think here we just go for Fake Out on a Murkrow to prevent... Oh, I don't even need to worry about Taunt, truthfully. You know what? I'm actually going to just knock off Tera here. In Trick Room. I mean, the problem is if you are Choice Specs Golden Go. Knock off Tera, Trick Room. But I'm also curious if Murkrow clicks Tailwind here. They are going to Tera. Steal. I could have like read that and clicked Fake Out into that slot. That would have been a crazy cool read. Okay. I don't think Murkrow's going to click Tailwind here though, right? Like, would you really Tailwind in front of a Gothitelle? This makes me think it's just Choice Specs Golden Go, right? You also get rid of your Ghost typing, so now both Pokemon are trapped in by the Gothitelle Shadow tag. We're going to Tera. Cool. They go for Taunt onto us. Nice. Yep. So there's the Dark immunity. And Tinkaton is faster, so we get rid of a potential Specs here. Yes. Excellent. Now I should survive. That's what we're going for. Okay, good. Yeah, that actually didn't do too much either. Sweet. Okay, that works well for us. Now what do I want to do? You're trapped in, but Murkrow, of course, can click Haze. I can Helping Hand. Doesn't really do too much for me. It's a free switch into maybe bring in Flareon right now. Yeah, I'm down to just bring out Flareon right now and then Foul Play into Golden Go for some chip. Because then, like, with the trap out right now, I can just knock them out next turn with Flareon. If Tinkaton had Play Rough here, I'd consider, I don't know, Helping Hand Play Rough, but we just... I guess I could Helping Hand Gigaton Hammer, that's the other consideration, but it's a free opportunity to bring in Flareon, so I think it's fine. Yeah, they go for Haze, but... should be okay here. And I went for Foul Play here just because I want to take less damage from Flare Blitz Recoil. I mean, it wouldn't have done much into either. Oh, they actually go for Gleam. That's cool. Smart. I don't mind that, though. Gothitelle's Trap is still out here, which is good. I think the interesting debate here is... I've already Tera'd, so I can't really get that much value out of Facade, but Flare Blitz here will just finish things off. Oh, but you know what? Murkrow having Foul Play here is a pretty big problem for me, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I'm going to Flare Blitz here and then switch out into Azumarill. Because it's a guaranteed KO onto Golden Go. I could have actually maybe considered Helping Hand Facade onto the Murkrow slot. I wonder if that was enough for a KO. It may have been. I think that's actually the stronger play. Yeah, because like they should Foul Play Flareon here. The thing is, Azumarill's decently positioned now for Play Roughs. And I have Fake Out if you knock out the Flareon, so I can go Tinkaton Azumarill and start dishing out damage with that combo. And Azumarill's very good into most of their team. Yep, there's Foul Play. That's one of the downsides of Flareon. Its base attack is so high, we take so much damage from it. So, yeah, I am curious if Helping Hand Facade would have been enough for a knockout. Down to go into Tinkaton to have a little bit more offensive pressure right now. We've seen Taunt, Foul Play, Haze. Shortly Tailwind is the last one. Tinkaton comes out, and they're going to bring out Meowscarada. Okay. Question is whether or not that like Choice Banded or has Protect. Kind of expected to have Protect here. Still willing to Fake Out plus Play Rough into it, though. Because, like, Murkrow just doesn't do anything for my opponent, and if they indeed are choice banded and we just KO it, great. Murkrow is not very useful for my opponent at this point in the battle, I would argue. They switches, that makes sense. So, like, basically, I think this turn would have boiled down to, should I make the read that Meowscarada protects here? They bring out Arcanine, which is fine, and, a bunch of interesting things. That's not Intimidate, and they don't protect. So, that's a really good outcome, all things considered, I would argue. Cool. Okay. So it's justified? It's interesting. Anyway, we can do something pretty cool here because of our fake out cycling. So it's the last turn of Trick Room, right? So you would think Arcanine wants to protect here. What I can do is switch Tinkaton out into Gothitelle and just go for Liquidation into Arcanine. If Arcanine protects here, well, next turn I can just fake out plus Liquidation you, right? And Azumarill just kind of wins against this. So that's why I was trying to use Flareon early on to eliminate, like, the Golden Go, because Azumarill kind of just beats everything else on my opponent's team. Okay, they just go for Taunt here. Arcanine did not protect. Trying to maybe deny Belly Drum, but or protect next turn, but yeah, I'm just gonna Liquidation here. Azumarill was such a strong sweeper here. This thing can really be a huge like offensive Pokemon under Trick Room. So like, don't count it out. I feel like when people see Azumarill, they often expect like Assault Vest or maybe Belly Drum, but the Life Orb set here just has incredible coverage given the way this team is composed. So yeah. And it covers kind of for some of the other like resistances that this team has, right? And as you can see, Azumarill is just really nice into a lot of the meta Pokemon right now. Hydreigon, Murkrow, Garchomp, for example, Grimmsnarl. You have good coverage into a lot of those. So we kind of, you know, were able to utilize all of the Pokemon decently well in that one, which was cool. I think turn one was what kind of won us the game. Not to say that like I won the game immediately from it, but I think I could have lost the game immediately if I had a bad turn one, given the Choice Specs Golden Go and Murkrow combination. And I think the first turn was a really interesting application of Tera, right? Having Dark Tera meant that I didn't even have to worry about Taunt for Murkrow, meaning that I could focus my knockoff onto the Golden Go slot. And the Gothitelle trapping both Pokemon in meant that I knew they couldn't protect, allowing Flareon to just get a guaranteed KO onto the Golden Go slot. So, you know, obviously when you're going up against teams like this, if they have Protect, things can really turn for the worse. And so one of the things I always ask myself is how quickly can I maximize my turns of Trick Room? But yeah, that worked fairly well for us. So a fun game here. Meowscarada, Rotom, Sylveon, Grimmsnarl, Annihilate, and Volcarona. Okay. Gallade, Sacred Sword, not really that great. This feels like an Arboliva game. To be honest, like all of the top three sweepers feel good, but can I get Trick Room up without leading Fake Out? I'm also a little worried about Sylveon. Like, I think Tinkaton Gallade is just still the best to set up Trick Room here, but it means I can only bring two of these three. Oh, I kind of love all of them, honestly. Especially with Grass Terror on this. Is there a world in which I just don't lead Tinkaton? I think Tinkaton's too important though, especially with Hammer. I just love all three of these Pokemon. You know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna go Gothitelle. This also gives me Fake Out pressure, by the way. Gothitelle plus Azumarill to apply quick pressure immediately with Arboliva and Flareon in the back. I think like the top three Pokemon just all offer so much offense. This is a little bit riskier in my opinion. Like Tinkaton, Goth, Tinkaton, Gallade is really, or Goth plus Gallade. Like those are kind of the go-to leads if you want to safely set up Trick Room, because it's like you have Fake Out plus Trick Room. But I'd love to see if I can make this work. It's going to be Rotom Grimmsnarl, which in my opinion is actually very ideal for what we have here. Now, if I had Tinkaton, it would have been a guaranteed Trick Room setup. So, a little sad we don't have that, but it's okay. I am down to click Trick Room turn one. Tera Fairy, or sorry, Tera Grass. And play Rough into Grim. I think the big question I have is, does the Grimmsnarl have Fake Out? Because if not, and we get Trick Room up, that's really good already. They could have Will-O-Wisp Azumarill, obviously, so that's another question. But Grass Tera is going to be pretty nice for us here. I mean, Tinkaton would have worked, honestly. Would have been able to just fake out Grim Trick Room turn 1 and go from there. Yeah, they do have fake out. Okay. Okay, and it's Volt Switch into Azumarill. I'll take that turn. It's not too bad. But the problem is I give up my defensive Tera on the Gothitelle now. Man, I've really run into so many fake out Grimmsnarls while trying to learn this team. It's made things so much harder. Volcarona comes out, okay. Well, Volk is obviously going to be a problem for the Azumarill now that I committed my Tera like that. But I kind of had to, otherwise I just take super effective damage, right? Like, the main question is really, can I get Trick Room up? Because I think even though that turn 1 looked decent, if I don't get Trick Room up, I'm just not in great shape in this battle. So they bring out Sylveon. Okay, like, I actually expect to survive something like a Heat Wave plus a Hyper Voice. They might go Bug Buzz Hyper Voice instead, right? Arboliva's decent in this endgame. Yeah, like, I also do, like, I technically have Helping Hand Life Orb Aqua Jet into Volcarona, but I think I really need to try to set up Trick Room here. So I'm going to go Trick Room, and I'm going to just Liquidation into Volk. We're going to see a Tera from their end, okay? Grass Tera, Volk is a thing. Yep. But now Flareon can Flare Blitz you with ease. Whoa! That is really greedy. I think that actually costs them the game, to be honest. Because I get Trick Room up now, barring something crazy. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. I said it cost them the game. Not necessarily yet, but I think it puts me in a fairly favorable position. Yeah, Liquidation does so much damage there. Yeah, I mean, my opponent was trying to make a pretty aggressive read there, right? That's what it feels like to me. But I think them giving me the opportunity to set up Trick Room essentially costs them pretty heavily, because I think when you're playing against the team I'm using here, you kind of need to do everything in your power to deny Trick Room, in my opinion. I'm going to go for Helping Hand. I guess they could have Quick Attack, right? Quick Attack is actually kind of a problem, so I'm going to Helping Hand here and Aqua Jet, expecting to lose both Pokemon. Maybe Sylveon protects here. If Sylveon protected, I had the way to win to just KO Volcarona with, like, Play Rough, but... Okay, no protect, yep. Oh my gosh, that did 50%. Jeez. Okay, Azu feints. The main thing is I have Flareon with Flare Blitz to deal with the Volcarona. Yep, there's Quick Attack, perfect. Giga Drain. Oh, that actually didn't KO me, which is a little bit annoying, I have to say. I really wanted that to pick up the knockout, but that's okay. I can get Flareon in for free now. It's mainly, what, Yawn from this that I'd be worried about currently. No need to switch. This is like, Flareon's just not really in a great, or sorry, Gothitelle is not in a great spot. If I had the double free switch in, I think this feels like it would be a wrap. The debate is whether or not I want to read into like a Volcarona Protect this turn. Helping Hand. I mean, they're just going to Hyper Voice. I'm down to just target Sylveon here. Like, if I were them, I would protect Volcarona. And I'm worried about Yawn from Sylveon. Nice. That should be game. Oh, not necessarily. They could get a double protect off, actually. But this is fun. We use Flareon to KO Sylveon, so Battle of the Evolutions here. But yeah, now I have Flame Orb. Oh, I could just target Okay, Rotom had Volt Switch as well. So, like, basically I'm thinking, hey, like, you probably have choice specs on it. Especially given how much it did into Rotom. So the question is whether I want to cover for the double protect play from their end. Because, like, I don't think Volk actually beats Flareon that easily anyway. So the play to make would be Helping Hand into Flareon and Facade. Because essentially I actually do lose to a double protect on Volcarona right now, and I think they should go for it. So I'm actually going to go for the KO, I think, onto the Rotom. If they have Rage... Nah, there's no way they have Rage Power. Quiver Dance, Giga Drain, Protect. Like, you've got to have Heat Wave. The reality is that, like, Volk just doesn't do that much damage into Flareon. So there's Helping Hand. See if they go for the double. Yeah, exactly. So they didn't get it, but this was a little bit risky, I think. But my problem is I didn't want to just lose to a 1 in 3 chance of them getting the double Protect off, right? That doesn't feel super good. Okay. And, like, Volk should just fold to Flareon now. Like, yes, there's one more turn of Trick Room. We actually wanted them to get the double Protect off there, but now I can just switch out into Arboliva to reset my Fake Out and Flare Blitz into Volk. And they end up forfeiting. I actually think it's worth playing out maybe a little bit because, like, you can go for the Protect there. I take more Toxic damage and then go for a Heat Wave critical hit potentially onto Flareon. But, yeah. That was an interesting scenario where it's a question of, do I want to read into the double Protect? Because if they get it and then Flareon gets KO'd by Hydro Pump, I think I lose the game. I don't think Arboliva and Gothitelle carries me in that end game. And I was kind of using, like, context clues, given that, you know, Rotom with Volt Switch did a fair amount of damage onto Azumarill to start the game. I was thinking it was choice specs. So I wish I could confirm that. But yeah, basically the logic was, hey, if that is the case and I can knock out the Rotom in one shot, then I can win the game. But it's one of those interesting scenarios where, like, it could actually look pretty risky, especially if, like, the Volcarona decides to just attack there, or even, I don't know, go for, like, a Quiver Dance, for example. But ultimately, I think what cost my opponent this game was them not going offensive against the Gothitelle. I guess, though, like, Volcarona plus Sylveon probably couldn't have even KO'd the Gothitelle. So I was kind of surprised to see, like, Volt come out rather than Rotom. Like, Rotom, Sylveon, maybe Hydro Pump, Hyper Voice gets the KO. But the reality is that Goth actually has a lot of bulk to work with here. So, yeah, I kind of greeted, like, bringing 3 Sweepers plus Trick Room. But in the end, it ended up working out okay. Although Tinkaton would have just allowed me to get Trick Room up early on. But I think the thing is with Tinkaton, if I went with Tinkaton and Goth, it would work if they didn't have, like, Parting Shot on Grim or Volt Switch on Rotom, but they had Volt Switch on Rotom and maybe even Parting Shot on Grim as well. So then it's like Volcarona comes out and starts Quiver Dancing on me, and that's not really good. Whereas with the Azumarill out immediately, I just applied so much more offensive pressure. So yeah, Azumarill's amazing on this team. Oh, okay, I really don't like the looks of this. Lilligant, Torkoal, Sylveon, Tyranitar, Indeedee, Oranguru. So it's a clear Trick Room setup with something like Oranguru, Indeedee, Torkoal in the back. But they also have Lilligant, Torkoal as a potential lead option. The main problem for me is the Indeedee, I would say. I do have safety goggles on Gothitelle, so I'm immune to Sleep Powder with that at least. But Indeedee is one of the hardest Pokemon to fight against here, in my opinion. Now, we could look to maybe get them to change the terrain by switching an Arboliva, which is kind of interesting. Grass Azumarill, Tera, also something to consider. I don't see a very clear path here, though, is the problem, because they have so many means of speed control, and in a best of one, I don't think I can reasonably cover for every single one. Even Torkoal Lilligant in itself doesn't seem easy to beat. Yeah, I don't know how to approach this one, honestly. This is not easy. God, like, neither of these Trick Room users really feel that good. I think I'm gonna go Tinkaton Gallade. Tinkaton Arboliva? Does that seem crazy? Like, just not bring Trick Room at all? I don't know, because I just, like, don't think... I mean, Gallade can... Sacred Sword, I guess, and actually does really good damage, but... Yeah, like, I think... When you use the team that I'm currently using, you almost always want to click Trick Room, but in this matchup, I'm not sure I do. But I don't know how to approach it otherwise. Yeah, they do go with Torkoal Lilligant, which is kind of what I was hoping for. Like, I can go for Fake Out, Torkoal turn 1, and Earth Power. I don't think Earth Power KOs, but, like, I'm kind of down for this. They could switch an Indeedee. Okay, perfect. No Protect. That's good. Well, unless this thing is Covert Cloak, in which then I cry. Okay. I'd be like, that would be a disaster for me. Okay, hold on. I was gonna say that's so sad, but no, it's okay. We have Faint. This actually works, maybe? That would make me so happy given how much of a nightmare this matchup is. But basically, yeah, the idea here is I have Fake Out Pressure, and then Arboliva can, you know, deal massive amounts of damage with Earth Power, and is also immune to Sleep Powder from Lilligant. So, yeah, are they going to expect Faint? Most players wouldn't, so, like, they would probably think, oh, like, we survived on a little bit of HP, I can just after you Heat Wave now. But then I can just Faint and Hyper Voice and essentially get a knockout and a half. Let's see. Okay, beautiful. There's Faint. Goodbye. That was a crit, but I don't think that mattered, given that we saw how much Fake Out did. Oh, that is so satisfying, I'm not gonna lie. That's one way to beat Torkoal Lilligant. Nice. There's Throat Spray as well. Perfect. Okay, sweet. So Arboliva's looking pretty nice right now. I could have gone for Tera, but I think it's worth conserving my Tera because I still don't know what my opponent has in the back. Nor do I really care about KOing Lilligant or bringing it down to Focus Sash if that's the item. Rangaroo comes out, works for me. I mean, the reality is they can't even really set up Trick Room now safely. I'm down to just knock off into a Rangaroo, and I think now I'm... do I want a Tera? Basically, the reason I want to consider Tera is just picking up a double KO right now, but it's very likely they just Sleep Powder into Tinkaton. I don't have a switch it into Sleep Powder, though. Yeah, I'll just go for knockoff and regular Hyper Voice. I think it's worth still conserving my Tera here. Yep, there's the Sleep Powder. I could have gone for Faint onto Lilligant, but I wasn't sure if Faint actually gets the KO, and if it doesn't, I'd rather burn a turn of sleep here immediately with Tinkaton. Cool. And, like, what's a Rangaroo gonna do, right? Because, like, if you want to set up Trick Room, the best thing to sweep me under Trick Room is that Torkoal, but we completely negated it in this battle. Okay, they set up Trick Room, but, like, Arboliva likes being under Trick Room, honestly. We haven't even taken damage yet. They didn't commit their Tera, though. That's one thing to consider. So I still have to think about a late-game Tera. It is going to be Tyranitar coming out for my opponent. Okay, so with Tyranitar, like, we expect maybe Bulldoze, you know, strategies. I could Tera Arboliva. I don't really think that's necessary, though. Well, actually, it could help in just securing the knockout onto a Rangaroo right now. Okay, I think I'm not opposed to that, actually. Yeah. And then force it to be a 4v1, because I theoretically could still lose this battle, right? But Arboliva should outspeed them under Trick Room. Yeah, this played as well as it could have. I think Indie lead was what I was really scared about, but we managed to KO Torkoal with a lot more ease than I expected to. Perfect, they actually just... Arboliva outspeeds a Rangaroo, which is actually... I should expect that, actually, yeah. Nice, and that just gets the KO. Was a crit there, but we did just under 50% previously, and this time I had the normal Tera to give a little bit of extra damage burst. They had low kick, but that's not even a 2-hit KO. And that activates Seed Sower. Perfect. Well, this matchup looked like a nightmare, but we found some really interesting way to actually get around it, but it doesn't always work, right? But in best of one, it's the best I can ask for. And Gigaton Hammer gets the knockout there. So, yeah, what a string of games. We've been able to, like, Arboliva was amazing for us in this one. Azumarill was amazing for us, I'd say, in both of the games. And Flareon put in a lot of work on all of those as well. And those are, like, kind of the three main sweepers that this team has. So happy to feature kind of the capabilities of all of the strongest Pokemon here. But maybe we'll try to bring Gallade in, you know, the next battle here. But it's been a fun couple games so far. Oh boy, we are up against a Perish Trap-oriented team. I actually recently featured Azumarill Gothitelle, but the interesting thing about that team was that it wasn't like solely reliant on Perish Trap. Not to say that this team is, they do have the Annihilate plus Mousehold combination, but this is really scary. I think, like, at least with Gothitelle, I can switch out, and I have knockoff with Tinkaton. I wonder if they look at the team we're using, they're thinking Perish Trap as well. Gallade is in prison, which is interesting. And, oh, wait. You know what's also interesting? Ghost Tera with Gallade to get around Perish Song. I don't really know what to lead. This is going to be really good, a really good learning experience for me because I haven't really fought against Parastrap in this gen, and like, yeah, the top 4 Pokemon I've experience with, but I don't know how Annihilate and Maushold fit onto that team composition. So I'm excited to learn from this battle. What would be clicking Parasong? Azu or Gengar? It's probably gonna be Sapsip or Azumarill. So Arboliva is not. I gotta make some moves quick. Okay, I definitely don't think that was the right form, or at least the right order. Tinkaton is knockoff. I feel like I should be bringing that into a triple Goth team, or yeah. Yeah, honestly, I really had no direction to go in this battle because of my lack of experience. And also, like, I was trying to, like, calculate, okay, how to Annihilate and Maushold factor into it, and there it is, actually, as the lead, okay. This is interesting, because, like, Gallade is actually pretty sweet here, honestly. So there's a couple of things that this can do. I don't know what the full setup is, but if, like, a lot of the variants here is, like, you go for beat up onto Annihilate, and then Maushold has Focus Sash and Friend Guard. Like, I'm kind of down to play rough Annihilate here and Will-O-Wisp, but where this falls short is if Maushold just is an offensive population bomb set. You could bluff that. In best of one, I don't think I can cover for both the wide lens population bomb set as well as like the Focus Sash Friend Guard set. It is the friend. Oh, this is great though. Okay, nice. So they're gonna beat up. So I'm gonna be able to burn the Annihilate if I hit Will-O-Wisp. They also could be Lumberry, I suppose, but they didn't Tera, so like maybe we can just burn it and then KO with Play Rough. That would be my dream here. Oh, did they target Gallade though? Okay, maybe it's still okay then, because the burn actually didn't make a difference there. I don't know if Play Rough KOs, though. Nice! That's huge. Okay, then the Will-O-Wisp miss actually didn't matter at all, which makes me feel a little bit better. In fact, now I feel silly for not going for Sacred Sword, but... I think Will-O-Wisp Play Rough there is fine, because if they go for Follow Me, then if the Will-O-Wisp connects, then it's a KO. Gothitelle comes out now. So this is where I could... Ghost Tera. It bypasses Fake Out and allows me to get a Sacred Sword off onto Maushold. Like, they can't really win this game off Parasong, in my opinion. What would the other Tera option I would take in this game? It would be Tera Flareon, right? Which, admittedly, isn't that bad here. But, like, I'm thinking Aqua Jet, Maushold, Tera, fighting Sacred Sword into Maushold. I'm kind of down for it. Let's try it. Okay, they switch. Azumarill? Gengar. That's fine. Aqua Jet might just be a 2-hit KO as well. Also, by going for Tera, now I can switch out of your trap and I can go into my own Gothitelle. That turn one was huge for us, so we'll take it. Okay, Ghost Tera Gallade is out. Yep, nice. Liquidation there probably would have just won me the game, though. Oh, Aqua Jet does so much damage. Never mind, we're good. No! I had to jinx it. I mean, the question is, are you going to have Sludge Bomb, basically? Because the play I want to make is Protect right now and then switch my Gallade out into Gothitelle. And then I'll have 2 Pokemon that can just KO Gengar. Because my opponent's not going to win the game with Gothitelle and Maushold. Honestly, though, I'm very happy about the position I'm in given where things were. And I'm very happy, actually, about the plays I've found this game so far. Okay. I just need to see if they have Sludge Bomb here. Oh boy. It's still okay. What is Gothitelle gonna do here? You think they have Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb? Because if so, I actually may have just put myself in a really bad spot. Wow, that was pretty sick on their end. I mean, I have Fake Out plus Liquidation here, but yeah, let's see if you have Sludge Bomb. Okay, we're fine. Should KO Gengar now. Mouse holds in the back. But yeah, they can't win the game off Perish Song, which is what I was aiming to do in this game. Okay, cool. I mean, that was really scary, though. Like, because if they actually have Sludge Bomb there, I could get screwed over. Oh, my gosh. Let's bring out Gallade first and then end the game off with Flareon. The mouse is out. Okay. Still disabled. I'm down to Protect here and Sacred Sword into Mouse Hold. Gothitelle has revealed Heal Pulse so far, as well as Fake Out. It should have Protect. Like, I'm wondering if it even has an attacking move, because there's a decent chance that the Gallade actually just walls both Pokemon right now. If that's the case, the game is just over. I have an offensive Flareon also just waiting in the back, by the way, so I don't really think my opponent can win, but let's see. Azumarill protects, implying Mouse Hold is not protecting. Okay, I will say I actually did forget about Beat Up as an option, even though we saw that on turn 1. That's okay. What is Gothitelle doing here? You just Heal Pulse, fine. No more disable. The disabling actually, like, if I lose this, that would have been one of the primary reasons I lost, but I also feel like, I mean, I had a pretty big lead, and the idea that I may have actually squandered it scares me. I'm down to just Aqua Jet and Flare Blitz here. I mean, I'm just worried about, like, a Rogue Hypnosis from Gothitelle. That's it, basically. But I don't think Mouse Hold is getting a knockout here. This should be supportive Mouse Hold. And even if you're Population Bomb... I mean, I guess if it is Population Bomb, I had Wide Lens this whole time. Okay, they forfeited, implying that was not the case. Flareon, unfortunately, does not actually get to deal a finishing blow there. But it was the excellent... like, the perfect Pokemon to have in that end game. Because it ensured that we had actual damage there. So, yeah. That was a really interesting one, but essentially I think their strategy very much revolved around Annihilate putting in work, and then they got completely messed up by me not only having Focus Sash, but also Life Orb Play Rough to KO Annihilate, so it was basically the perfect counter into what they led there. So, yeah. I was trying to figure out how it would win if they just went with the, you know, Gengar, Gothitelle, Azumarill combo, but that's why I thought having Gallade and Gothitelle on my end made things a little bit better, because Gallade can switch out with the Ghost Tera, and then Azumarill offensively was really solid in that matchup, but yeah. I'm gonna guess the Gengar didn't have Sludge Bomb, but if it did, then Azumarill may have actually gone down to it. That could have been pretty bad, but a fun game. And we got to bring Gallade out. Okay. Toxtricity, Gardevoir, Breloom, Ceruledge, Noivern, and Golden Go. It's pretty clear it's going to be a Boom Burst oriented team. I see Ceruledge, which causes concern. I think this is a Tinkaton Gothitelle game. Yeah, I mean, we're not bringing Gallade for sure. Arboliva gives me the Earth Power into Ceruledge. Flareon KOs most things. I mean, it's a debate between, like, I really want to just bring Flareon. I think I'm going to do it. Flareon, maybe instead of Arboliva, I just bring Azumarill instead. Yeah, it's just more offense outright, whereas with Arboliva, I have to get the special attack boost off. So there's a lot of Boom Burst shenanigans from either Noivern or Toxtricity here, but I'm thinking we can just fake out Trick Room, and if they lead with Ceruledge or the Golden Go, I Tera Gothitelle, turn Dark in Trick Room. Yeah. Gallade, I think, is very weak here. The only thing I'd be Will-O-Wisping is Breloom. Sacred Sword is terrible into... like, it literally just doesn't even do anything into most of their Pokemon. Nor does Trick Room / Imprison help much. I mean, Trick Room could help, but not the Imprison part of it. I think Gardevoir is something I'm worried about, though, because that, I think, could actually Trick Room and Imprison me. And that would cause some problems. Cerulege Toxtricity. Okay, I mean, I think I kind of have to go Fake Out, Tera Dark turn 1, Trick Room. Yeah, this is not great. It's too much damage pressure immediately. And I have to commit my Tera as a defensive option, but then like Tinkaton next turn is probably going to be slower than their side because of Trick Room going up. How else could I have led then? I just get bodied by Cerulege if it's positioned well, I feel like. And the Toxtricity applies too much pressure. We'll try our best. But yeah, my problem is how I go into turn 2, because I'm not going to have that much offensive pressure, and they're going to have a ton. Fake Out into Tox. Tox flinches. That is sick. I got hit by X Scissor. Okay. Well, that's not great. Like, Foul Play to Cerulege actually will do pretty good damage. The problem is Cerulege then retaliating back with the Bitter Blade. I'm also worried about this, however, just turning Tera into normal Tera Blast. I think I am just going to knock off Foul Play here. Oh, that works. Tox protected, okay. Not a double protect, so we get same type attack boosted Foul Play now. Well, I found my Cerulege answer. Wow. I mean, I guess it's not shocking that it gets a one-hit KO given the same type attack bonus, plus Cerulege's attack being as high as it is, but sheesh. Breloom comes out now. Okay. I'm down to knock off. Ooh, actually Feint here into Breloom and Foul Play. The reason for that is because I want to break Focus Sash. Mach Punch. Yeah, that's fine. Flareon gets to come out now. What's Tox going for? Overdrive. Okay, it's fine. Road Spray comes out. Yeah, I mean, Breloom is still pretty scary here, because essentially, like, they could win off some good protects right now, right? Because I am slowly running out of Trick Room turns. Oh, but with Feint, I could just Feint Flare Blitz Breloom, no? But, like, what if this normal Tera's on me, right? If they get a good protect here, I think I could still be done for. Okay, wait, I think I'm less scared of Breloom, so I'm going to just Feint Toxtricity and Flare Blitz to guarantee the knockout onto that slot. Uh-oh. What is this, normal Tera? That works for me. Okay, I guess. Oh, I mean, is there a chance I don't KO with Flare Blitz? I should have thought about that. They didn't protect either. Okay. Oh, I have a sneaky suspicion that this isn't going to KO. But never mind, Flareon. I'm sorry I doubted you. I apologize. I was not aware of your game. Hawks Feints. Okay. Yeah, it's still not over, because now I'm put to sleep. It's a shame I can't, like, get the Toxic Orb to replace the sleep. That would be so cool. It is Golden Goal is the last one. I still don't think I've won this by any means, because there's one more turn of Trick Room and Spore. I actually think I just get overwhelmed by offense here. can knock off into Golden Goal, maybe hopefully put it in Aqua Jet KO range, but me being asleep now is no good. And Breloom can just sport Tinkaton now. And I don't want to switch out into Azumarill. Oh, interesting. They opt for Mach Punch, though. Well, Golden Go presumably outspeeds us here, right? Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, cool. It's choice specs. Yeah, one of the interesting dynamics is Golden Go versus Tinkaton speed tiers. Okay, that's a pretty big deal. We got rid of your specs. I know I have a Azumarill in the back, but I need to beat Flare Blitz Breloom to win the game. So I might as well Feint here and Blitz. Okay, that's smart. Oh, did they double up onto Flareon? Oh no, they went for Spore, okay. Oh, I think if Flareon wakes up here, I win. I think if it stays asleep, I lose. I think that's what it boils down to. Okay. Flareon came to play today. It was Choice Specs Golden Go. You might have Thunderbolt, but that should not one-shot my Azumarill. Knock off. Blitz. It was more optimal to protect Flareon here. That was actually a big mistake, in my opinion, not protecting. Oh, maybe not. I guess, like, because Tinkaton's just staying out anyway, and I'm not KOing with knockoff anyway. But essentially, the only thing I need to avoid right now is a critical hit or Thunderbolt, like, paralysis into full para. It actually begs the question of whether or not I should just Aqua Jet twice for a KO. I'm fairly sure that would KO Golden Go. The main thing Aqua Jet get... Does this just KO? No, okay. I wouldn't expect them to KO me in return though, right? Okay, they just make it rain, we're good. Unless it crits. Nice. But yeah, I lost to a crit there, I think, right? But in my head, it was like, I know your choice specs. Aqua Jet's always a 2-hit KO. By clicking Aqua Jet here, it gives me the chance to win off a high damage or a critical hit as well. But shoutouts to Flareon for this one. Like, if it didn't wake up against Breloom, the game's just over there, because then Flareon presumably faints and Azumarill just loses to Breloom. So, yeah, we got pretty lucky with the quick wake up there, in my opinion. But, woof. Man, it's been some really fun games with this team, I gotta say. Like I said, I got my butt kicked for a while trying it out, and probably lost like the first 4 or 5 in a row when I used it. But, yeah, I feel like we've run into good matchups, of course, gotten good fortune, and I feel like generally I've executed it okay, taking some risks as well, but since the win streak continues, I'm just going to keep going. Dondozo, T-Tar, Annihilate, Grimmsnarl, Tatsugiri, Grim. I think this is... Man, Gallade's pretty interesting because of Sacred Sword and Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, I'm kind of down for Dondozo. Sorry, Tinkaton, Gallade, Arboliva, Flareon. I mean, Azumarill's a solid lead, I would say, especially with Aqua Jet. I could just fake out Aqua Jet immediately with it. That's actually worth considering, in my opinion. But Gallade gives me Will-O-Wisp into Dondozo, which I think can be important. Okay, let's try it out. See what happens. I think, like, with their team, they have 2 clear combos. Really, I guess, like, Grim and Annihilate in itself is a pretty clear combo, too. T-Tar, Lycanroc, that's fine. I think the debate here is, do I want to... Oh, you know what? Because I have Feint, like, I think turn 1, I'm down to Sacred Sword and fake out Tyranitar. Then turn 2, Feint Lycanroc, Will-O-Wisp Tyranitar. Or I can consider Tera, Ghost, Trick Room. I don't know if I really need Trick Room in this matchup. They're pretty focused on setting up Trick Room in most games so far, but... Oh, is it going to be Ghost Tera? Okay, thank goodness. It's probably Flying Tera, right? Yeah. The only risk that I run in going for this play on turn 1 is Rock Slide Flinch. Oh, they could also just have Protect. Well, that's not great for me. That is definitely not great for me. Huh. Yeah, I think, like, I'm so used to Endure Lycanroc with Endeavor, Rock Slide Close Combat, that I'm conditioned to just always think they don't have Protect, but Protect is a very good move on Lycanroc, as you can see. Flying Tera is very bad for what I have in the back. Oh, this is really not good. I feel like me just going all in on that turn 1 and them having Flying Tera. How in the world do I beat Flying Tera without Trick Room being up? Yeah, I should have just brought Gothitelle and Tera to it. Ugh. This works if they don't have Protect on Lycanroc, but now it just does not work. Will-O-Wisp this. Hammer. Huh. Drill Run, okay. Oh, this is like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. Oh, I think I'm done for. I think I'm a little cooked in this one. His Life Orb instead of a Assault Vest, that's cool. Also pretty speedy, it outsped Tinkaton here, so it's got a decent amount of speed investment. This is definitely slightly different on Lycanroc. I'm glad to see it though, right? Like it's always cool to see how people take common duos and run them in slightly different ways. I just don't really see a good way out of this, honestly. I can feign to KO the Lycanroc now, which they probably won't expect. Kind of want to just go for Tera Flare Blitz here, hope for a KO. I don't know, it's like I need a KO Tyranitar, right? And at least I can Tera get rid of the fire typing, which is good for me. Okay. Nice. So snipe that off with Feint. Feint is a really awesome move on Tinkaton. Bye-bye. Tera Blast with Life Orb. Assume Rock Slide, maybe Assurance Protect. Oh my gosh. I'm getting cooked. At least that prevents me from flinching, but I think this game is over. There was just so much that went wrong. Like, I needed to just prioritize setting up Trick Room in this matchup. If I had gone Fake Out Tyranitar turn 1 in Trick Room, I'd be in much better shape in this one. But I was thinking I could snipe off Lycanroc. Got a little bit greedy. Was thinking I can burn the Tyranitar and didn't necessarily need Trick Room. But yeah, ran into really the worst possible scenario where they had Protect on Lycanroc. Had some really good offense that I wasn't expecting either. Now, Flying Tera I was expecting, but Drill Run from Lycanroc definitely was not. So I should have just stuck to the Trick Room strat in this one, but I don't regret playing it the way I did early. Is it just Dozogiri? Yeah. Nicely done. Okay, is there any way in which I ever win this? I suppose, depending on the Dondozo set, Arboliva could potentially clutch it out. Okay. Protect. Energy Ball. I mean, Arboliva could theoretically win this because you'll likely activate Grassy Terrain. Energy Ball does decent damage. Wave Crash. Okay. Let's see, though. I don't know. If it does like 15-20%, we got to play towards a crit. Okay, Arboliva, I see you. 37 down to 27, and then I take Toxic. Flareon's not even surviving another turn. Oh my gosh, can Arboliva clutch this out? They should just protect here. I guess I'll quick attack. I'm fainting anyway after the turn. That is so little. Alright, it's Wave Crash. They targeted Flareon, what? Okay. Does the Tatsugiri really beat Arboliva 1v1? I feel like Arboliva should win. Okay, I feel like I'm just so used to Dondozo walling Pokemon so well, but yeah, holy cow, it's immaculate here. Okay, no more Sandstorm. Let's Hyper Voice. Single target Throat Spray. I mean, what's your best attack? Specs, Draco, Meteor. That's really it, right? Icy Wind, that's fine, right? 174 to... Yeah, that did only 64 damage. I don't think Hyper Voice KOs in return, but Grassy Train now activates, and 2 Hyper Voices should KO, so I can just double protect. I thought this game was doomed. I can't believe we actually... Like, Arboliva. Holy cow. This thing is a really interesting answer into Dondozo. I just was kind of conditioned to be like, yep, this is just a wrap. I lose off a critical hit right now, but we always just protect for more recovery since another Hyper Voice KOs. Okay. I don't even think an Icy Wind crit KOs actually did it. What, like 74? Even with the crit multiplier, I don't think that's enough. So all we have to do here is make sure we don't misclick and click protect again. Hyper Voice should do it. Wow. That's why you don't give up. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I literally went from like, yeah, losing like 5 or 6 games in a row when I tried out this team to now on this crazy win streak, but we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Okay. What do we got here? Annihilate, Pawmot, Dragonite, Golden Gold, Talonflame, and Toxapex. First impression, Azumarill's really good. Lack of... I actually don't really know how to deal with Toxapex super well here. They also have faster Fake Out with Pawmot, which is a problem for me. Faster Fake Out with Pawmot. Potential Inner Focus Dragonite. How in the world do I get Trick Room up in this game? I have no idea. I feel like I'm like staring at a test and I just like, you look at the questions, you're like, what is the answer? I don't know. Goth, Tinkaton, Azumarill, Flareon. Okay, I don't know how to get Trick Room here. Like, we're running into so many problems here. They have Inner Focus, they have faster Fake Out, they have Ghost with Golden Go. And I don't think our offense is that good either. Uh-oh, double Ghost. Well, it is looking pretty rough, folks, but let's see. But yeah, you're not always going to be able to just safely set up Trick Room with this team, right? And it took us a few games before we ran into something like this, but now I am looking pretty rough. My best bet is Tera, I think, Trick Room. Knockoff. I don't know. Could have Helping Hand knocked off. If it's Final Gambit Annihilate, but I think I can't win this game without Trick Room. Although I said that, I really felt that way in the last game. I don't think I directly said it, but I felt that way in the last game. Somehow we actually pulled it off, but that's because Arboliva is a beast of a tree. It's done for. Oh, I wasted my Tera just to get Final Gambited. That is, yep, absolutely one of the worst things to run into. Now, Gallade solves that problem slightly because it has Focus Sash. I didn't feel good about Gallade in this matchup. We are at least faster than Golden Go. Gets rid of Specs. Okay, I guess it's not like completely doomed. Dragonite, Toxapex. Would I rather go? I think I'd rather go into Azumarill. Maybe it was supposed to be Flareon because then I just get the Toxic Orb activated immediately. Oh, that it's just gonna be able to revive Annihilate. Oh, that is sick. Sick, 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 sick. I assume they're Focus Sash anyway. I'm gonna Liquidation here and switch on into Flareon. Then I can Quick Attack. Liquidation. How do I get around this? Yeah, this is just a nightmare, right? Like, I just can't safely set up Trick Room. Gallade would have been better over Gothitelle. I brought Goth because it's a little bit bulkier. And then Gallade would really survive, like, the combo of attacks or whatnot. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Tinkaton out into Flareon. Ah, they just go on the offensive. That's smart. I'm glad to honestly get wrecked here. Like, I feel like I ran into a lot of good RNG as well as good matchups in the last few games, and it's obviously not sustainable. I was honestly shocked we won as many in a row as we did. This is as bad of a... I actually, like, Palmod's low-key pretty sick into us, right? Because, like, yeah. It is kind of sick. I'll fake out Facade Palmod. I mean, this game technically isn't over yet. Like, I should still be playing the match instead of thinking about why I've lost. I could have protected Azumarill there, but I mean, the problem is I just committed my Tera on turn 1 and got nothing out of it at all, which is never good. How do I beat the double ghost lead? I don't know. I really don't know. It's just so much damage. Oh, they didn't protect Palmot. Well, it's a knockout onto that at least. And they Shadow Ball into Golden. Sorry, they into Tinkaton. Okay. What's your last one though? It's probably Dragonite. You just Tera on me and I go bye-bye. We're giving it our all though. What's it gonna be? Yeah, Dragonite. Well, I don't have to play rough. Okay, well, I think the best bet is just like go all in, feint, Facade. I don't know, if they just have normal Tera extreme speed though, it's over. I guess I could have protected Flareon, gone for knockoff. That maybe was the smarter move. I don't know if it would have won me the game though. Yeah, it's E-speed. You did well for us today, Flareon. You did well. I think even if I got a knockoff off, maybe I get rid of a choice span, but then they can just still extreme speed me next turn. That was the win con though. Yeah. I guess in my head I was like, maybe they don't have banned. I don't know if that was banned. Actually, I'm curious. Can we find out? They're probably just gonna extreme speed me before I get to move. Yeah. I'm fairly sure that was choice banded, but I guess I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I think, like, I mean, this game just highlighted a lot of the nightmare things to run into. Scar Final Gambit in itself is a problem. Double Ghost means I can't fake out effectively. Dragonite's fairly strong as just the attacker into most of my team, or the team we're using here as well. And we really need to Trick Room up in that one, but I just couldn't ensure it. I think one lead to consider is actually Gallade and Gothitelle them, because you can't knock out both Pokemon with the Focus Sash plus Gothitelle. So I actually should have considered that lead. I never used Gallade Gothitelle once while playing with this throughout today, and this would have been the matchup for it. I just like didn't really bring it out when I was practicing with the team either. So yeah, but it's good to now, you know, have caught that. But this was a really fun team. I think it's not very easy to pilot necessarily, but the payoff can be so satisfying. And I mean, we got to feature Flareon, Arboliva, Azumarill. Like, it was just absolutely awesome. Gallade as well. So yeah, thank you so much as always for watching, and leave a like if you enjoyed. I hope you did. This episode, you know, was a little bit longer, but I feel like the games were just super fun, so I kept going. So appreciate everyone for coming out and tuning in, and I'll see you all soon. All right, peace.